All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the video and article that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those books that are still probably tucked away in those cheap boxes, those dollar boxes, those discount bins, wherever you find your cheap comics, whether it be yard sales, your LCS, half-price books, books a million. I don't know, wherever you find cheap books, these are the things you can probably still find in those boxes based off of some of the recent news, rumors, announcements, and things going on in the comics. Hopefully you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Check out our memberships and consider joining up and get some extra content, including my top 10, my watch list for Wednesday, give you a heads up on some things that are coming out each and every week. And yeah, just having a lot of fun doing all this content, including the shorts that I try to make sure drop daily at noon. And with that all said, if you want to see the weird collection of books I got for you this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so as I said, I do have a weird selection of books. These kind of bounce all around into different little corners and nooks and crannies of our hobby. Starting off with our first one, which goes back to a time that I still have a lot of nostalgia for. But we're not going to get there yet. We're going to start with what's going on in today's comics, and that's this new Kryptonian who may be more powerful than Superman. For one reason or another, in the recent issues of Wildcats, Mr. Majestic here is calling himself a Kryptonian instead of a Caribim or whatever. I can't remember what the alien race was in Wildcats, how you pronounce it or whatever. I know it's like a KH and there's an E, there's B's and whatever. I think it's like Caribim or Beam or something. Anyway, he's now saying he's a Kryptonian. I don't know. And he's taken down Supes because he was, well, Jim Lee's one version of Superman. They also had Union as well, but Mr. Majestic was one of the Superman anagrams over there in the Image universe. Plus, we had Supreme, but that was over the Maximum Press side. Anyway, still going back to those days, Mr. Majestic. When did he first appear? Well, he first appeared mentioned in the main story, and I believe there was a backup feature in Wildcats number 11. Again, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This Jim Lee was one of my favorites, and I made sure to get all of this stuff. And this is the regular cover for it, and there actually was a variant. This cover, I think it's Weiss. I don't know how I always mispronounce his name too. Weiss Portatio. Anyway, this is a connecting cover, one of 8 that form this huge mega image where if you put them all together, I remember chasing these down back in the day. They were not the easiest things to find at the time. Now you can still find them in those cheap boxes, and I still get them every once in a while to try to make up this 8 cover set image thing. Not too expensive these days, but at the time, this was a tough thing to kind of put together. Anyway, you can see the second from the top, second from the left is the Wildcats one. And then you got Gen 13, you got Stormwatch, you got Union, you got Deathblow, and Kindred, which was Backlash and Grifter, Wetworks down the bottom, and Team 7 up there as well. Oh, and then, well, this is just regular Wildcats. But anyway, so Wildcats number 11, there was a backup feature that kind of introduced Mr. Majestic, and then he kind of showed up in the next issue, and he's on the cover to issue 12 as well. But this would technically be his first. So we're looking at this. It's not an expensive book. Sells for about $4 raw, 64 to maybe $100 in 9.8. Asking prices aren't that much either. You're looking at like $2 to $8 and either cover, like whichever cover you want. So not an expensive book, but a fun one you can go and dig out of the boxes if you're interested. Who knows where they're going to go with this story of Mr. Majestic calling himself a Kryptonian? I don't know. Are they going to retcon it and make him an actual person from Krypton? One of the plethora of Kryptonians we have these days with Supergirls and those 2 new kids. And I don't know. Seems like there's a lot of survivors for Superman being the last son of Krypton is all I'm saying. But bouncing away from there, let's go on over to Marvel and check out this interesting little upcoming story. Apparently, Marvel's bringing back Kid Omega, but he's not a kid anymore. they're bringing back, I guess, Old Man Omega, because he's coming back as an old man with a pink beard. Instead of the pink mohawk, he's got a pink beard, rocking a cane. He's still an Omega level mutant. So we'll see where this goes. But he's coming back in X-Force. I think it's going to be X-Force 41 coming out. And they're bringing back, like I said, Kid Omega, who we all thought, I think, was gone. But, it's comics. Nobody's ever gone. Everybody comes back. But his first appearance is in this new X-Men issue. I'm sure this is taking that ride up and down the spec cycle, round and round. It's gotten hot many times over the years, but right now it's kind of in a lull. 134, you can probably find it in those cheap boxes once again. Pretty cool Jean Grey cover there. But inside is the first appearance. He's throughout this book, the first Quit Inquire in this issue. And it's kind of wrapping up saying, he wants to get a new look, a new haircut, which is why, if you think this one's going to be too tough to find in a dollar bin, get the next issue. 135 is easy to get and very cheap. But first, let's look at 134. Because like I said, it has gotten, some highs. Lately, it's sold for as cheap as $1.44, $5, but it's also sold for $15 to $20. It's one of those weird books just based off of timing. Available copies anywhere in that like $10 to $20 kind of range right now, or a lot of the asks for raw copies of this. So, good luck digging the boxes. But as I was getting to, if you can't find this one, maybe grab the next issue, which is 135. This one here. And why would you grab this issue? Is because in this issue, Quentin comes back and he's got the look that we all know and have known him for since then. So you want to get the pink mohawk, the Rhea Ripley style comb back. This is the book where he comes in with it. Because last issue you saw, he just looks like a regular little kid, and he has to get a new haircut. Comes back with his pink hair. This is a new haircut, and he's about to start causing some trouble in Riot at Xavier's. This is the first part. So here we go. Keep an eye out for this. This is a good little story, too. So keep an eye out for this run. What is it? I think it's like 4 issues, maybe? I can't remember if it's 4 or 6, but I think it's only 4. But anyway, it starts here in 135. So keep an eye out for this. This is very cheap. Look, it sells for, $3 or so. Less than $3 is the best offer. Available copies, 99 cents, $1.50, $2.99. It's not a pricey book. You can find this one. So consider it. Okay. Next book. Going back to DC. Now, this one may not be that easy to find in dollar bins, but I want to remind you just in case. We talked about it a little bit last night on the tax show as part of the news, but Tom King confirms that one of the Creature Commandos is going to appear in live action, I guess soon, and it's going to be Dr. Phosphorus. So his first already kind of spiked a little bit, but it's got some renewed interest now with this Detective 469 selling pretty well. What's 359? Oh, 359 is what do you call it? Background, right? No. Anyway, we were talking about a lot of books yesterday, so I got all these numbers just jumbled in my head. But 469 is the first Dr. Phosphorus. And like I said, this has been selling well lately, so I'm not surprised to see $30 to like $60 raw. All right, 60 is kind of on the high side, and a lot of them more in that 30 to 40 range. But if you can find it at a cheap box, you found a nice little score these days. That old run, like this isn't like a terribly old, bit of Detective Comics, but at the same time, you might find like a little banged up copy. It still might be worth your time to grab it. And asking prices, you can see here, anywhere in the $20, $25, $35 kind of range is what you're looking for. It's like a, very fine copy. If you're going to get like a near mint, you're going to probably get a little bit more. A little banged up, you're going to get a little bit less. So just keep it in mind. I just wanted to mention it. This one's probably more of a long shot, but that's why I got plenty of other options for you outside of this. Not counting on this as being a featured part of this episode. It's just a little extra. Now, going back to Scarlet Witch over on the Marvel side, she's got some new villains that she's facing off against. Well, not new to her, I guess, but she's facing obscure and powerful X-Men villain. Well, they kind of are X-Men villain, but they're also Fantastic Four villains. And what we're talking about here is in issue 3 of the current run of Scarlet Witch. This is the one where she's teaming up with her half-sister Polaris. We see that I'm going to see if I can pronounce this properly. The Bakai? The Bakai? I don't know if we're saying it right. They worship Hippolyta? I'm not very good. I should have got Marco. I don't know Greek all that well. I can't get the pronunciation proper. But you know what I'm talking about. You know who in the DC side of things, that would have been Wonder Woman's mom. Or no. Anyway, maybe it's just a very similar name. Maybe it's not the exact same name. Anyway, the Bakai worship Hippolyta. If I'm saying it, I don't know if I'm saying it. Warrior women, bad guys, new group. They first appeared way back in Fantastic Four number 7. This is from 1998, so I think this is technically volume 3. So this was after the original volume, and then we had The Heroes Were Born, where Jim Lee was doing the cover art, and then they came back, and we got volume 3. Later issues when we're going to get Valeria in issue 15, etc. So issue 7 now is one to keep an eye out for, because it's the first appearance of this group, the Bakai. It's kind of a fun little first, and this is definitely one you can find really cheap. This is not an expensive book at all. This is probably in those dollar bins. Even 99 cents online, this thing sells for up to $3.60. Ooh. Not saying you're going to get rich finding this, but this is kind of a fun little first. You can go dig out. Asking prices, again, very, very cheap. $1.80, 95 cents starting bid with a buy now for $3. The highest ask is $9. But most, by and large, there's a lot of $1.79, $1.75 type buy it now. So not an expensive book. It's even, like I said, it's like dollar bin digging online. And it's first. But that's where they first appeared in Fantastic Four. So why are they considered X-Men villains? Well, because soon after, they did show up and kind of mix it up with the X-Men. First, here in this issue, Uncanny 450, which is already kind of a known, not a well-known, but like a known book to look for because of the X-23 appearance. This is kind of like the first X-23 in the X universe. If you're discounting, NYX being kind of a little side Marvel tail kind of thing, this is where she mixes it up with the, like I said, in the regular Uncanny run. You can see her 2 claws there on the 450th issues. This one, 450 and 451, like a 2-parter, you want to keep an eye out for if you're digging in those boxes, because, like I said, X-23's in there. But also, you can see here Wolverine crossing paths with the Bakai or Bakai, however you say their names, because they're in this issue as well before they start mixing it up with the X-Men. So this book, like I said, mostly because of the X-23 appearance, still sells $10 to $20 a lot of times. Asking prices, again, that same kind of range, as cheap as $5, high as like $20, and you can see that $20 gets you both 450 and 451. So it's not an expensive book, but if you find it for $1, it could be worth time to flip. Okay. I only got a couple more, I think, for you, but sticking with a little bit of weird, I also mentioned this little bit in the news that Disney Plus is going to do a new Zorro show. I don't know if it's going to be tied into the original movies or not, or they're just going to do Zorro in general, because he is a public domain character, which is why he has comics with Dynamite, which we will get to in a second. But that's not the only run of Zorro comics you can look for, looking in those boxes. But Game of Thrones writer is going to reimagine Zorro, so I think it's going to be a new thing. What they base it off of, who knows? Could they base it off of anything from this original Marvel run? Maybe not. This is from the 90s. I think like 1990, actually. This ran for 12 issues. So there's a couple of random examples here of that original Marvel run. You can look for these in the box. I mean, especially if the place you're searching for is alphabetical, it's easy to go dig through the Z's. Not gonna be a lot of Z books. So maybe you can find Zorro pretty cheap. So here's some examples. A couple of bucks each. Look, $2, $3, $3.50. It doesn't matter the issue. This is just random examples of random issues in that 12-issue run. Available copies, kind of same story, $2, $4. I mean, there's a $10 ask for number 1. Maybe number 1 gets you a little bit of a premium, but by and large, they're all just a couple of bucks. It's not an expensive book at all. But who knows? Maybe the interest will go there after a new Zorro show reimagines him and reinvents him for a new generation. Stranger things have happened, but I still doubt it. That said, let's look at the Dynamite version that I also mentioned that came like 20 years later. I think it was like 2010, 2009, 2010. And being Dynamite, you're going to have a couple of different covers. I'm not showing you all of them. I just randomly picked a few. I got issue 1, issue 3 there, and I'm showing you issue 20 because the Dynamite run ran for 20 issues. So there's a lot more options. And surprisingly, some of the asking prices are higher than I thought. I figured this would be just $3 across the board again. But looking into it, sold copies been selling for like $8 to $10. Granted, those are individual issues that sold for $8 and $10.40, and then there was a $10.50 sale that was a small lot of the comics. So it's kind of mixing it up. But that's not just all Zorro. It's like there's some Lady Rawhide in there, Jurassic Park. They mixed in some Topps comics as well, because I think I forgot the Topps run, because Topps had some Zorro too. But I think that was more the adaptation for the movie. And like I said, I don't think this series is going to really continue from the movie. So, because it does say reimagined, right? So, got to imagine they're not going to follow up. It's not a sequel show, but don't know for certain. Just best guess. That said, those are the what's sold recently. As far as what the asking prices are here, you can again see individual issues, just random issues. Number 19, $8. Number 15, $10.40. Number 16, $13.60. They're just random issues, but apparently the asking price on these things are about $10. Who knew, right? So if you find any of these Dynamite Zorro books for $1, maybe consider grabbing them if they can sell for 10, or at least people are asking like $10 each. Who knows if you'll get it? But there you go. And with that, one more topic to cover for today, and then we'll wrap it up for this week. Sorry, this went kind of quick. I thought I had more in here, but we did have like 4 or 5 topics. But our last topic is going back to Marvel once again, and we're going to be looking at our man, Danny Ketch. If you guys remember, like me, going to the nostalgia factor, Danny Ketch was the 90s Ghost Rider. So what's he been up to lately? Apparently, he's getting a new look. Looks like he's wearing a Weapon X helmet on top of his Ghost Rider skull. That's what it looks like to me, with a green flame instead of the traditional orange, orange-yellow kind of thing. But fan favorite Ghost Rider's returning with an epic new costume. I mean, it is kind of cool, but I'm kind of curious of why he's rocking the that Weapon X helmet. But this is what happened in the end of Ghost Rider 12. That other image I just showed you, I think, is part of the cover for issue 13 that's coming out soon. So keep an eye out for that, because this is yet another reincarnation, revamp character. They're trying to figure out what to do with Danny Ketch following Johnny Blaze's return to being the regular Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider. Robbie Reyes, they put him in the car. They figure he's different enough. They have yet to really settle in on any one thing for Danny Ketch. Will this be it? We'll see. Reason why I say that is because we're not talking about Ghost Rider 1 from 1990. Sure, if you find it for $1, absolutely go buy it. This is a solid book, classic book. Everybody knows this Ghost Rider book, right? There's a second print for it as well. That's not why I want to talk about Danny Ketch. I want to talk about other times they tried to do something different with Danny Ketch, and it's been in the last couple of years, because this first book is going to be Ghost Rider number 4 from the 2020 run. I don't even know what volume. They've revamped Ghost Rider so many times. There's so many different volumes. I can't keep track. But I think it's 2020. Legacy issue 2, what is that, 240? Anyway, issue 4, they took Danny Ketch and they made him this spirit of corruption. So he kind of has like a cape, and he had this big-ass sword, green flame in his hands, wearing almost like a Cenobite Hellraiser type mask costume thing going here. I don't know. But they were trying to reimagine him for being something new, being something different. And like I said, this was just 2020. And this book, again, you can probably find it out there, because look, it even sells for 99 cents online. That's the only sale I could find individually, or maybe there's more, but I saw it, 99 cents. There you go. Good enough for an example. Asking prices, $1 or best offer. So they will accept less than $1. Or my comic shop got it basically for a little undercover at $3 and $3.60, because this is a $3.99 book, But there's one revamp try they had. Then they decided to take this look, keeping that, like I said, this weird Hellraiser penance type mask that he has. Like, how does he see? Like, there's no eye slots, but whatever. They tried to revamp him again during King in Black, which I think was 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. But King in Black Ghost Rider, this one-shot special, they decided, hey, let's make Danny Ketch something else. We'll keep that kind of look. We'll put him on a crazy, I think he was on a horse, almost like the original Ghost Rider. So they put him on a horse, and he wanted to be called Death Rider. So another new name for him. So if you want Death Rider, it's this King in Black book. But he doesn't look like this now. So this didn't last very long, but there were other attempts to make Danny Ketch something other than just another Ghost Rider. Copies of this selling $4 to $7, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's worth more than cover to some folks, but there are still cheap copies, as you can see. $3, $4, up to $7, and that's really it. Again, you're not going to get rich. This is more for fun. Let's make this hobby fun. Keep this hobby fun. Kind of like a scavenger hunt. See if we can find some of these oddball things. I mean, who knows? Some of these things could go up, but that's not why I'm telling you to look for them. I'm just having some fun looking at some books that tie into some of the stuff, like I said, that's going on in the news and in the comics that are coming out right now. So if you want, more backstory, more history, or some connections to some of the things going on right now, these are some options of things you can go dig out of those cheap boxes. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you appreciate it. Just want to say, thanks for stopping by and checking this out. I appreciate all of you for all the support and everything. Got plenty more content coming your way. Gonna do the live Mail Call Madness show with Jedi tomorrow. Dom might be on. He might not. We don't know for certain yet, but I told Jedi, regardless, I'm coming on. We're going to talk about a few things. Gonna talk about history of the world, some crazy show he had me watching on Paramount Plus. I think I got some Legos I want to show you because I didn't get them ready for tax show yesterday. And a few other things. We got a few things we want to talk about. I think Jedi wants to talk a little Oscars as well. So we'll see how that shakes out. So come join us in the live chat tomorrow, Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then come back again Saturday night for Saturday Night Special. The boys are continuing the March Madness adult animated show polls. The polls are up right now, so make sure you go and vote so we can see who moves on to the next round, because this is round 2, so they're going to need to see what the votes are. And then Star Wars, the Tales from the Dark Side show on Sunday is live as well at about 9:15 Eastern time. And then come Monday, I'll start it over with Hidden Gems, Chasing Ghosts, Tax Show, Dollarman, etc. So once again, you know the lineup by now. If you don't, go back and check. Go check all the old content. There's still a lot of good quality stuff that's still sitting out there for you. And with all of that said, thank you again. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon with some more content. All right? Later.